Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Commission's Carriers and Micro-Targeted Leads, hosted by Stuckey and Company. There's still some people logging on. Looks like the numbers are going up, but we will just go ahead and start things up. First, on the right-hand side, there's a GoToWebinar control panel. You can ask any questions or chat with us or the people online by using the control panel. All you do is open that area by clicking the little right arrow, and you can ask questions and chat. We'll try to get to a bunch of questions during the webinar, and if not, we'll get to them after. Second, we will have a follow-up email. You normally do that the same day, but sometimes it's the day after. It'll have the link to the recording of the webinar, the PowerPoint presentation, and some documents based on the discussion that we have today. So let's go ahead and get started. So in 2017, Stuckey and Company is celebrating 26 years as an MGA, offering our agents access to solid A-rated carriers like the Hartford, Safeco, Travelers, Chubb, and ACE. We have 8 specialty programs. We offer a updated promise to our service level, which is called a 151 promise. And so that's in by 1, out by 5, in by 5, out by 1 the next day. As an MGA, we do everything from creating the program. If the program's already created, we underwrite to those guidelines. We rate it, quote it, bind it. We issue the policies here, so we have a forms library that includes a ton of different endorsements. We process the renewals, report it, systems, integrate the systems with the carrier and the agency, and we always market and train our agents and the carriers on the product. So these are the specialty programs that we currently have. Safety Tech is a technology E&O program. Aspire A&Es for architects and engineers. Harbor Guard for marinas and boat dealerships. MPL is just miscellaneous professional liability. Element for the green energy industry. We do personal lines, which is home, auto, boat, and high value home. Commercial lines, which is BOP, comp, commercial auto, bonds, EPLI, D&O, all those things. And surplus lines is a non-standard commercial insurance program. So basically today, I'd like to show you the carriers that we have. You do get turnkey access to those carriers. Show you the commissions that we pay out. They can be equal to or greater than the standard carrier commissions on a direct contract with the carrier. Show you the training and on the product that we can give, and then show you how we can help fill your sales pipeline with some micro-targeted, hyper-local leads. And so these are the carriers that some of the carriers we have. We have 51 carriers in-house. Sometimes they're assigned to multiple products, but we have 51 carriers, and these are some of them. And I'll just kind of skim through each one of the carriers that we find is the most attractive, I guess. So the Hartford is one of our strongest carriers. We've had a relationship with them for a number of years. I think we've been VIPs with the Hartford for 23 years now. We have a full commercial and personal lines contract in all states except Alaska and Hawaii. On the commercial side, We do retail, sailors, manufacturers, contractor service, restaurant, office. I'll show you another slide in a second. But it's one of our most solid carriers with the broadest appetite and the widest range of products. So the way that I had the commissions laid out, and this is on this page and others, the 0 to 50,000, 50 to 250, 250 to the million, million to 2.5 million, and over 2.5 million are our production bands. So if you write a piece of BOP business with us today and you have 0 production, we pay 15%. From 50 to 250, it's another, money in there based on, your submissions and incentives and things that we have. But from 250 to a million, it's 18%. A million to 2.5 is 20.5, and over 2.5 is 23%. So you can kind of look at those. That is for the BOP. The comp is very similar. The auto is a little bit less, as you probably know, and you've seen in the industry. The auto is not quite as desirable as you have seen in the past with distracted driving and some of the underwriting guidelines that carriers have. But bonds, professional, inland marine, and we just laid this out for you to be as transparent as we can. For the Hartford, this is their appetite. And I wanted to show you this. I don't have this on every carrier, but this is the appetite for the Hartford, and they have expanded their thresholds for small commercial to include bigger opportunities. So a few things are kind of notable on this slide. Business and professional services, we can go up to $40 million in property values. And that's just huge. $40 million, that's a big account. Retailers, we can go up to 30 million, contractors 1.25, the manufacturers 15 million in property values. So we can also, in the technology classes, we can go up to $30 million with property values and $15 million in payroll. So just kind of wanted to show you that slide of the thresholds and some of the appetite. Maxim, let me back up on the small commercial. One thing that's not on here is the number of power units. So on commercial auto, as a general rule, we can do 25 power units on a BOP policy, which is pretty strong. Maxim is a company that is owned and was purchased by the Hartford about close to a year ago. We're live in 24 states, and they have a very broad appetite. Again, this is surplus lines. A lot of the times you'll see surplus lines carriers pay 10%, and we are really looking to deliver expand a carrier like Maxim that's not admitted, but the minimum premiums and the pricing and forms and things kind of trend towards the admitted market. So I also want to show you the appetite. We recognize that everything doesn't fit perfectly within a BOP underwriting appetite. So the targeted industries and expanded industries are industries that you would commonly think of as a BOP type market. Maxim lays perfectly over those and expands the guidelines a little bit. So if they're new in business, they have a broad scope of work, industry served, maybe they're habitational, the location's kind of goofy, had some trouble with insurance score, subcontracted work, maybe there's general contractors, roofers, alarm contractors, those types of things. Our surplus lines market will pick it up. So We first go to the admitted market and then surplus lines, but we have that availability, and we do that automatically. This is Travelers. We have a full commercial contract in all states except Alaska and Hawaii, and these are the commissions. MetLife. So MetLife, we have a BOP and auto commercial contract. We can write monoline auto, which is interesting in today's market. And these are some of the classes that we can write. Some of the neat things is we will give an extra 3% commission on the BOP and 2% on the auto. If you're a subcoded agent and you quote at that level, we only need $10,000 worth of premium volume. So it's a couple of accounts. So we can get you subcoded and quoting BOP and auto from MetLife in these states. If you have any questions on any of that stuff, please ask a question, and I'll also include the underwriter's contact information at the end of the presentation and in the follow-up. Chubb, we have a full commercial contract and also a personal lines contract with Chubb. We do have it in all states except Alaska and Hawaii. We actually have two contracts with Chubb, one for Westchester, which is the wholesale division, and one for a retail, the markets that they have. Most of the business we write with Chubb retail are some larger accounts, and we write some things like federal government contractors and things with them. On the personal line side, they have, as you guys probably know and remember, Chubb's high value home is a combination Chubb, Fireman's Fund, and ACE, which are the top three of the top 5 carriers on the high value home side of things. So it's a great market to have, and they also have a good watercraft policy, and they write collections of things in their high value home like wine and toys. They even write aircraft. CNA is, again, it's a full commercial contract in all states except Alaska and Hawaii. Some of the commissions are lower and their appetite is a little bit less, but we can quote it, and when they want to write it, they're certainly a great market. Safeco, we have a personal lines contract with Safeco. It's in all states except Alaska and Hawaii. We can do all the toys, home, auto, umbrella, watercraft, renters, condos, all that stuff. And these are our commissions. You'll see most of the time the commissions in around the 50 to 250 range is what a standard contract is given with the carrier that we're talking about. With AIG, we have we have commercial contract as well as a personal lines contract. We use them quite often for high value homes. Their private client group is the group that writes the high value homes, and their coverage A starts at $500,000, and it was just lowered from $1 million to $500,000. They'll write most coverages, home and auto, and I think even the collections and secondary homes, monoline, and they'll write things on a surplus lines basis, like the high value home that includes wind in Florida, for example. Safety Tech is it's an insurance program for the technology industry. So we write it in all states except Alaska and Hawaii. It is a professional liability specific program, but that program includes errors and omissions, electronic media, network operations, and a cyber liability policy. So then when we package a few things together to make it more affordable, we start at 15%. And again, like some of the other products, sometimes we have incentives that'll go beyond that. The highest level of commission is 23.5%. We love to write it, and I'll tell you a little bit more about how we like to fill your pipeline with some of those opportunities in a sec. Tuniax is a branded auto services business owners policy for the auto services industry. It includes garage liability, faulty work, hired and non-owned auto, garage keepers, and employee tools. Right now, we're only in 6 states, which is Illinois, Michigan, North Carolina, Missouri, Arizona, and Texas. But Texas only has comp currently. So these are the incentive levels. So that is really the commission and carriers part of it. And I want to kind of go on and tell you how we can help fill your sales pipeline with those leads from those micro-targeted local accounts. So we have a program that we're launching. We're going to supply 25 micro-targeted leads initially, and they will be in the technology industry. They will definitely be within 5 miles of your office. Sometimes it's within 2 miles. Normally, we don't have to go much further than 2 miles because of the huge opportunity with the technology industry. We then augment that data with social media information like the LinkedIn profile, the geolocation with the Google Maps, pictures, and all kinds of fun stuff there. We qualify those leads for you. So our underwriters go to the websites and we qualify the leads. They will be only the things that fit the guidelines. So they'll be under 25 million in revenue. The SIC codes will match. The tech descriptions will match. The websites will match. They will be premium credit worthy, even in our broad appetite. So we want to make sure that we can apply any credits that's needed so we can write the account. And we want to give you support and make sure that you succeed with this lead program. So you have the full support of our underwriters to get these accounts. We want you to succeed. Then we will assign that account to your agency and specifically to you, and we'll personalize a campaign. As you can see here over on the right-hand side, that little picture, we'll say his first name. You use technology to make things faster and easier every day at their company name, and we go on and only communicate to these customers with your agency information. So again, it's personalized with their name and company and co-branded to your agency. The campaign will include 3 emails, 2 letters, and 3 postcards. It's turnkey, so we'll be able to do that with pretty much any industry group. We're starting with technology, and we're starting with the training for the technology program that we launched on Monday. So the cost to participate in the micro-targeted leads campaigns is too good to be true, right? The cost is that we ask that you sign a commitment card, and that will just state that you promise to follow up with a phone call, and you quote the business through our program. And it's as simple as that. At this point, there's no money that's exchanging hands. The lead will be sent through our online platform called CoverCore that you'll get an invitation to. For the agents, it's going to support the lead generation program, which will also give referrals matched by specialty, your specialty, through the platform. You'll be able to communicate with the customers, and you'll get your commission statements all online. The accounts, they'll be able to communicate with you, ask any questions. We'll also kind of prompt them to ask you some of the frequently asked questions that you learned through the training, and they can apply online in 1 minute before they talk to you. And the partners that you have, if you happen to have any partners, some of the partners that we have, for example, are eBility, Dell, Fiverr, and CrowdSpring. And if you have partners that would like using our data API, if we have a document we'll share with you, you can share with them, and they can submit accounts electronically, and they don't have to even spend the 1 minute to apply. It's automatic quotes for those guys. So that is all I have for today. It's a lot to chew up, but I'll open it up for some questions. The first one is there a program for new car franchised dealers? The auto services program that we have, the Tuniacs, is not a auto dealership program, but we do have facilities that will write that. They'll do new franchised, and we also have a company that will do used car dealerships, but it's not under the new Hartford program for auto services. I'll get you some information on that, though. The next one is how do we qualify for the MET subcode? And the only qualification is $10,000 worth of production. So if you can produce $10,000 worth of business, we will get you subcoded. You get access to their online rater, and it opens up, property and GL and auto in all of the states that you saw. Just a couple more questions, and then I'll go ahead and wrap things up. Here's another question about the car dealerships, and we will send information about the car dealerships. So, attending the webinar on commissions, carriers, and micro-targeted leads. I'd love to hear more. If you have, the people on this webinar are the first people that have access to the lead generation program. And we want to get that started as quick as possible. Our technology underwriting department has been working on it for a long time, and I know they're extremely excited to work on it. So again, thank you for attending. I will get the presentation out, the recording of the presentation, and some of the material that we've just discussed by the morning. Thank you for attending.